Hello heroes, welcome to our guide to class changes in Odin Valhalla Rising. In this guide, we're going to break down how it works, what you need to do in order to change classes, and a few tips to get the most out of this limited time function. Changing classes can be one of the most impactful things you can do to further progress your account. It will allow you to exchange not only your class, but avatars, weapon skins, and weapons, unique accessories, and skill progression. Not only can it help empower your account, but it gives you the freedom to try a new playstyle, adjust to the latest meta, or even transfer high-value assets such as legendary avatars and weapon skins. Changing classes can be intimidating, but if you understand the best way to utilize it, it can be a massive boost to your account. So let's break down the whole class change event. In order to change your class, you need to meet some requirements. First, your character must be at least level 40, and if you plan on using alts to transfer valuable avatars, weapons, or weapon skins, then the alts need to be at level 40 or higher as well. You'll need a class change ticket and class change tokens, which can be purchased in the premium shop. Keep in mind that only a single ticket can be purchased and used per server. And finally, you can only change classes during the event period, which starts after April 23rd's maintenance and goes until April 29th, before maintenance. Pay close attention to this, so make sure to check out the latest patch notes for the available time period. Those are the account requirements in order to change classes, and we recommend preparing a checklist of the following items before you consider using the system. Only equipped weapons and unique accessories in preset 1 will transfer over, so double check all of them. Confirm which avatars and weapon skins you want moved. Review your active and passive skills. Check if the target class already owns duplicate cosmetics. And finally, prepare enough class change tokens. The amount of class change tokens you will need will depend on the grade and number of avatars, weapons and weapon skins, unique accessories, and the skills you plan to transfer. Now that's a lot of information to remember before you transfer your class. Luckily, the game provides a preview screen that shows you exactly what will be transferred and how many tokens you will need. This is the best tool you can use to make sure your class change goes well. There are two options in changing your class. You can change your subclass within the same group, such as moving from a rogue sniper to a rogue assassin, or you can transfer to an entirely different class, such as going from a warrior defender to a priest saint. Depending on which way you go, the amount of tokens you will need will differ, as well as what you are allowed to transfer. Let's first talk about changing classes within the same class family. Changing to a new subclass is the simplest way to change classes. When changing subclasses, you will be able to swap one avatar of uncommon rarity or higher and one weapon skin of uncommon or higher rarity, your equipped weapon and any unique accessories currently in preset 1, and also exchange your active and passive skills. When changing classes within the same class group, it's best to prioritize it for exchanging your highest rarity avatar, weapon, and weapon skin. This can be one of the best ways to increase your overall combat power with the least amount of tokens used. Next, let's talk about changing classes to an entirely different class group. This is considered a full class change and is more complicated and costly than switching subclasses. So be extra careful when considering swapping entire classes and utilize the preview function to double check everything. When changing classes across class groups, you can transfer multiple uncommon or higher grade avatars and weapon skins, rare or higher grade weapon, and unique accessories currently equipped to preset 1. All of your active skills and a select amount of passive skills with their enhancements fully retained, as well as limited time avatars. With the option to exchange more than one avatar and weapon skin, the total amount of required tokens can significantly increase. So again, be cautious when deciding on what you would like to move, and always use the preview screen to check your selection. The best way to use the main class transfer is when your current class is no longer viable, you already own epic or higher grade avatars or weapon skins in the new class, you're adjusting to the latest guild content or optimizing for PvP, or you simply want to commit to an entirely new class. This is best used for endgame optimization and isn't necessarily recommended for casual or new players. There are two main ways people tend to change classes. However, the system can be used to increase the combat power of your main character by using class change to swap, for example, legendary avatars and weapon skins, or even weapons themselves. Let's break down how to do this. For example, let's say your main character is a warrior berserker and your alt is a priest paladin, or you have a rogue sniper and an alt character who is a rogue assassin with a legendary avatar. Well, you want to move that avatar over to your main character, and you can do that with the class change. In order to do this, you will need to level up your alt to level 40, have the legendary avatar equipped, use the same group class change, and move from assassin to sniper. Make sure to uncheck anything you don't want to transfer over to keep the total cost of tokens low. Once finished, your main character will now have access to the legendary avatar. You can do a similar thing with high-grade weapons. If you have an alt character that has a legendary weapon you wish your main character had and that weapon isn't character bound, you can equip it on that level 40 or higher alt character in preset 1 and use the class change system to move the weapon over to your main. Make sure to use the preview system to make sure you are exchanging exactly what you want, uncheck anything you don't want to move over, and then swap classes. Be extremely careful not to exchange your main character's class, but to always use the alt character. To end the video, here are a few reminders to keep in mind. Always use the preview system before changing your class. Avatars and weapon skins of uncommon or higher get changed. Main weapons of rare or higher grade get changed. Only your weapon and unique accessories in preset 1 get swapped. When using class changes to swap high grade weapons, weapon skins, and avatars, double check which character you plan on moving, because once you do, there is no going back. Changing within the same group can be the most cost effective, but it only lets you exchange a single avatar and weapon skin, and don't forget there may be collection bonuses to newly stack up for your new class. Changing to an entirely new class group lets you swap multiple avatars and weapon skins, but at a higher cost. Double check which cosmetics you have before changing, as you don't want to waste tokens on duplicate cosmetics. And lastly, unused tickets and tokens can be crafted into various items and chests, such as summoning ticket chests for unused class change ticket, and golden imprinting stamps and golden relic coins for unused class change tokens. So be sure to check out more recipes under the crafting menu. Any unused tickets and tokens are not valid for the next class change and will be automatically replaced with May 6th maintenance for this class change season. Finally, pay attention to the class change period. It goes from April 23rd after maintenance until April 29th before maintenance. So prepare yourselves, heroes. The class change is a limited time event, so use it wisely, and we'll see you in game.